Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's midday weather outlook for the southern region brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. I want to apologize for the way I sound. About starting on Christmas, I started to develop a little bit of what felt like a cold. It was kind of the Christmas gift that keeps on giving, and finally this morning I've woken up and I don't have much of a voice left. So because of that, we're going to get right to the point here. The map you're looking at, last 30 days, percent of normal precipitation. We've been identifying two corridors across our southern region that have really showed us a split in precipitation, namely this section being dry and this section over here being quite wet. There are some pockets in the southeast that are still showing up dry, specifically coastal North Carolina, even getting up into parts of Virginia. But overall, this has been the split, much wetter than average over the southeast. Now, I showed you this map in yesterday's report. We were talking about this corridor, once we start our new year, having a very active end of this week. And we can see here precipitation totals were quite high from yesterday's model run. Well, what I'd like to do is now show you what the current model run is. So this is the one I showed you yesterday. This is the latest. You can see that between the two model runs, not much difference in that heavy rain corridor that's right in through here. So we got to talk about this, and we got to see how long this is going to last, because this is some very heavy rainfall falling on an area with already saturated soils from the last two systems that have come through, bringing in so much precipitation. And I'm just going to tell you something. This doesn't end anytime soon. This is looking out only at week 2. What we're looking at here is the difference from normal. These are precipitation anomalies for week 2 only. So this gets you all the way out to the the evening of the 14th of January. We continue to see this section of the United States showing up wet. Why? That jet stream just keeps dipping into a trough over the southwestern United States. And here it is. What I've done is I've shown you the upper level winds in the atmosphere all the way out to day 10. And it's like we've been talking about. The jet stream comes screaming here off of Japan, splits into two pieces. They come back together right here and then lift. And because of that configuration, we end up getting just this extremely active weather pattern over the southeast. Where they come together, there's convergence, and as a result, we are getting upper level support for drier conditions on this side and wetter conditions here. That is the main story. So, how about some details now? We're going to get through the end of 2019 dry, but let me show you when this all sets up. And this is what I want you to watch with me. You're going to see high pressure systems start here, and they'll move to here. And when they move over to this area, they pump moisture. I've said that 1,000 times. They just pump moisture into the southeast. So that's what we're going to be watching in this animation. It's going to happen twice, okay? So here we go. This is this morning on Tuesday. As we play this forward, I'm going to pause it right here on Thursday morning. And what do we see? The high pressure cell is sitting here, and it's just funneling in the moisture in here as this low pressure system begins to develop on the backside of that heavy rainfall band. So as we play this forward Thursday afternoon, getting into Friday morning, getting into Friday afternoon and evening, getting into Saturday morning, getting into Sunday morning. Now, we could pick up some snow in the Appalachian Mountains, but watch what happens. High pressure builds back in by Sunday, and then it slides once again off to the southeast. See it here? And as it slides off the southeast, again, another system emerges around January 6th, 7th, right here in the midsection of the United States, and it once again brings in some heavy precipitation. So we are on this wash, rinse, repeat pattern with in terms of the position and strength of these low pressure systems, and that's why things are so wet. So what do we end up getting? Well, all of the cold air is tucked away in Alaska and here kind of north, northern Canada toward Greenland. So these troughs that come through, while they do bring us a temporary drop in temperature, for example, this is the position of the trough on Friday morning. Out ahead of it, a lot of warm air advecting or moving and certainly bringing in the moisture with it. So this is the first system. This is the one that comes through on the 6th and 7th, so you can see it here. With this one, we actually do tap into a little bit more of the cold air, but this is the monster over here that we're watching develop out in the Gulf of Alaska, and it's really prominent here by the time we get out to the 13th of January, and guess what? Trough digs in right over here across the western part of the United States, and with the trough sitting in this area, we just stay on this active pattern. Please remember, it's always between the trough and the ridge right here where we have the most active weather. All right, so this is a pattern we're unable to shake through the middle part of the month. What's it going to do to our temperatures? Well, over the next 5 days, we're going to see on average above normal temperatures. But remember, it's because the trough that's sweeping through isn't fully connected to the cold air that's sitting way up here over northern parts of Canada. Really, I should have drawn that circle a little farther north. It's right up in here. So even though the system comes through and cools us off, it really doesn't drop us well below average. In the 5 to 10 day time period, that's when we start to connect a little better with that colder air, and you can see the cooler than average conditions we're anticipating down here in the southeast. But look at this, with the pattern going ridge, trough, ridge, we're just going to stay above average temperatures through the mid part of January. So I got one last thing I want to show you, and it's just a repeat of something I showed you at the end of last week, just brand new model updates. This again goes from January 10th to February 10th, and what it's painting for us here, same thing. Much above average precipitation, and what's in this circle is not included in the forecast I just gave you. This is in addition. So we're looking at very, very wet conditions. All right. With that, I'm going to wrap it up, try to rest this voice a little bit. I hope you'll have a great start to 2020. We'll talk to you again very soon. Thank you.